This is the $160 MacBook Pro. Now we're going to go ahead and open this thing and we're going to go ahead and check it out and see what we really got for 160 bucks. So here's the box. And a lot of times these computers do not come with chargers, but this one said that it did. So we're going to go ahead and see if it came with a genuine Apple charger, which those usually cost a whole lot more than the cheap Chinese ripoffs, but we'll go ahead and see what it came with. Either way, it's a charger, so that's good to go. And it's a box inside of a box. All right, so here's our unofficial unboxing. Here it is. So as I thought, it comes with one of those Amazon chargers, although this is actually an expensive Amazon charger replacement adapter. Usually these are a lot different looking compared to 12 bucks on eBay. And as you can see, it kind of more closely resembles a fake ripoff. They definitely feel different. This one has more of a texture. This one's about 23 bucks on Amazon, and this is about 12 bucks on eBay. They both have the same connector, of course. This one would probably be a little more reliable, and this one definitely gets really hot, but they're both just fine. And then comparing this to an OEM charger, as you can see, we have the Apple logo. This charger is really old and disgusting. This is a 45 watt. This looks to be a 60 watt charger, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 60 watt power adapter. So this one has more wattage, but this one is probably a lot more reliable. As you can see, this thing's hard as a brick. This one's pretty hollow, and this one definitely weighs a whole lot more. I'd rather trust the Apple one, but hey, it's a brand new charger, and who really cares? Let's go ahead and get on to the MacBook itself. And here is the MacBook. And this is actually looks to be in pretty good condition. I've actually seen a whole lot worse. This is actually not bad at all. This is really nice. Alright, so the moment of truth is opening this up, because seeing how clean it is on the outside, I hope it's just as clean on the inside. Alright, here we go. Wow, this is really flawless. So I'm actually surprised. This is one of the most flawless 2015 Macs I've ever seen in quite a while. It of course needs a little bit of a cleaning, but this is really, really nice. Yeah, no, there's no damage to the keys. It looks to be in pretty good shape. Let's go ahead and boot it up and see if it's running. Power button. And boots right up. And it is updated to its latest version of macOS Monterey that it can run. And we'll go ahead and set this thing up, and we'll go ahead and play around with it and see what we can do. Now, a lot of times sellers do not erase their devices or factory reset them. However, this one did, and I do love that every time they do it, because it definitely does save me some time, and it makes me have faith that there is no iCloud lock or anything password on these devices. All right, so the Mac is right here, ready to go. As you can see, this is a Retina 13-inch early 2015 with a 2.7 gigahertz dual-core Intel Core i5 processor, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and an Intel Iris Graphics 6100. Now we'll go ahead and go to storage. This has 121 gigabytes of SSD storage, and it has a 2560 by 1600 13.3-inch Retina display. All right, so let's go ahead and open up Coconut Battery. This is going to tell us the exact when this was made. So this was manufactured in 2016, labeled as a 2015 MacBook Pro, of course, and the battery does hold 76.3%, which means it's probably about ready to be changed out, but it still holds a charge, and the cells are actively okay. Typically under 80, I would change it, but I don't have a spare battery on me at the moment, but it does seem like it's ready to go. Obviously, it needs to be charged because it's only at 19.6%. Battery info here, this is a 2016 battery as well, 2,948 days and 698 load cycles. Battery status is good, and it's at 23.5 degrees Celsius right now. But yeah, as we can see, it seems to be just fine. Not a bad battery, especially for a $160 MacBook Pro. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put up some Geekbench scores on the CPU and the GPU device, and we're going to go ahead and just see what's going on with this thing and what scores we can get. Alright, so the scores are in. The single core is 1033 and the multi-core is 2111. Now that is not super bad, especially for a 2015 MacBook. Now here's the rest of the specs and performances. And after I tested the Mac Mini, this definitely outperforms the Mac Mini by a fairly good amount. And obviously this does run a newer software than the Mac Mini. Let's go ahead and run the GPU benchmark and see what happens then. So while we wait for the CPU benchmark to finish, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of background of what I do and why I do the things I do. So my name is Jaden, and I have been selling, refurbishing, and repairing Apple MacBooks since 2021. Now, I've always been into tech. This is something that I have always loved, and I decided to make it into a business, and this is what I've been doing for the past 2 years. I buy, sell, and repair MacBooks by replacing the batteries, fixing simple issues, loading software, replacing screens, and doing pretty much everything possible. Now, this is something that I really love, and I have really good knowledge on. I've done pretty much everything possible: logic board replacements, SSD replacements, I've done speaker replacements, I've done cable replacements, I've done pretty much everything. And I can say that this MacBook Pro right here, this 2015, is one of the nicest MacBooks that you can get nowadays in 2024 for a really good price. So the specs are in. This computer scores a 3474 OpenCL score, which compared to the Mac Mini had like 970 or something. So this most definitely outperforms that 2012 Mac Mini that was upgraded with an SSD and 16 gigabytes of RAM. Going down the list here, we can see basically everything in total. This is definitely a great computer as well. It can be used for a lot of things. Although it being, of course, 9-year-old hardware, I do recommend that you don't use this for anything super heavy. So I've sold over 200 of these 2015 MacBook Pro units since 2022, and I can say that lots of people use these for their DJ software, short, small editing software, and they even use it for their music and like GarageBand. This is definitely a good computer for that, especially because it performs just like some of the newer Windows computers out there, if not better than those computers. The hardware on this thing is absolutely amazing. The screen is super crisp, and the graphics are really good. This isn't something I would recommend doing heavy Photoshop on, but it's definitely up there, and it definitely performs, especially as a good budget computer. So this computer is equipped with a dual Thunderbolt 2 port, 2 USB 3.0 ports, and it does have a 720p HD webcam, which is pretty nice, especially for FaceTime. It does have an adjustable backlit keyboard, as well as an HDMI port and a larger SD card slot. So this is the last MacBook Pro with a glowing Apple logo and this bright silver aluminum design. Now all the MacBook Pros are colorful and vibrant. This one kind of resembles the old A1278 MacBooks. It's in between the thickness between the newer ones and the older ones, but still has that look of the A1278 MacBook Pros. Now we're going to go ahead and give it a clean. And by using 91% isopropyl alcohol, this will definitely disinfect the whole entire computer. And to protect the back, we'll go ahead and set a little bit of packing supplies under this while we clean the bottom of it. Now there is a little bit of glue residue, which we can remove with Goopy On. Now for the keyboard. Now that it's clean, we can go ahead and reinstall macOS. We have a macOS USB with macOS Monterey in it. We'll go ahead and turn this thing on, and we'll go ahead and hold the Option key. And then we can go ahead and select macOS. This Mac has fully been factory reset now, and it's just like if it came out of the box. But of course, this is macOS Monterey, and not macOS El Capitan that would usually come with one of these devices. This is a 2015, and it is reset, and it is ready to go.